Welcome to part 3 of Competency 6. In this video, we will continue to work with linear and quadratic equations. Number 11. From a given location, Ted drives north at a constant speed. At the same time, Christine drives west at a constant speed. After 2 hours, they are 80 miles apart. If Christine's speed is 7 miles per hour faster than Ted's speed, what is Ted's speed rounded to the nearest hundredths? Okay, so we have Ted and Christina starting out here. And Ted will go north, ending up here. So that's Ted. Okay. And then Christine, she's going to travel west, directly west. So this is Christine. And that's where she will end up. After 2 hours, okay, they're going to end up 80 miles apart. Now, before I move on, side note, remember we have distance equals rate times time. Okay, so these are distances. This means that Ted, he is 2 hours, after 2 hours, going at some unknown rate. But Christine, after 2 hours, her rate is Ted's plus 7 more miles per hour. So she is going faster. Okay, now this gives us a nice Pythagorean theorem setup. So let me show you what we will put in the calculator. We're going to say Ted is A, so we're going to take x, 2x, and square the whole thing because all of Ted's expression is A. And then for our B squared, that will be equal to 2x plus the 14, square the whole thing. And all of that is our hypotenuse of 80, and we will square it. So now we have our a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Now, we can just use our problem solve for that, right? So we have math, arrow up, push enter, and I have everything entered into the calculator. But let me go ahead and do it again. Parentheses, x squared, close your parentheses, and 2x, parentheses, 2x, parentheses, and square it. Sorry about that. And plus, open your parentheses, and then 2x plus 14, close your parentheses, and square it. Now go down, and I'll go ahead and clear that. And you say 80, and then just push square. Now, you need to press OK, but remember, we have to do this twice. So see that graph, push the graph button, but push it twice. And how do you know you have a good answer? This last bullet of E1 minus E2 equals 0 will show up. And our value is a 24.57 rounded, which gives us option A. Okay, now let's look at another way to do that. Let's go y equals and go over, and then parentheses, 2x, close it. We're just going to type in almost the same thing, okay? So now we have plus, close it, and 2x plus the 14, close, and square that. Now, we need to put this whole equation that we built, but equal to 0. So how do we do that? Well, I'm going to erase this. Basically, what we're doing is moving the 80 squared over and making the whole thing equal to 0. So put minus, natural subtract, okay, and 80 and square it. Now we can graph it. Okay, now your graph may not show up like that. Okay, so let me show you what you may have. I'm going to push zoom 6. Okay, so you may end up with this and you have nothing. Don't worry about it. Say zoom, and we're going to zoom out number 3, push it once, then push it twice. Now you have something usable. Of course, mine looked a little different. I had done something a a little closer, but it doesn't matter. Now what do? We need to use second, calculate, and number 2. Okay, so press number 2. Okay, now what they want you to do is put in boundaries. Well, our smallest boundary from our A, B, C, D options would be 24. So we need to say 24. Oops, sorry about that. 20. Okay, there we go. All right. We need to say 24, 2, and the highest number for our D would be 34. What I'm doing is on the positive kink line going through the x-axis right here, I'm using my A, B, C, D options to estimate. So I'm going to say 24 over on the left side of my pink, and over on the right, I'm going to say 34. Okay, so let's say 24 is my left boundary. So I'm going to say 24 and push enter. Now my right boundary will be 34. Okay, now it says, what's your guess? So push enter again. And yes, we get the exact same answer that we did by using our numeric solver. Okay, number 12. Working alone, Peter can paint a fence in 5 hours. Working with Mary, the two of them can paint the fence in 2 hours. If Mary were working alone, how many hours would she need to paint the fence? Okay, remember, I like to think of this as one job done over the number of hours. Okay, so this implies that we have, okay, well, Peter, his one job, he can do it in 5 hours. Okay. Oh, so was going to highlight. Let me highlight. Okay, there we go. 5 hours. But we don't have Mary. Mary is our I don't know X. And together we have 2 hours. Okay. So that's plus Mary, but she's I don't know X how many hours. We don't know. But then together they're 1 over 2. All right. So with some quick solving, just as we did in other videos, our denominator on the left side, we're working with the expression on the left, that will be 5x, and our numerator is x plus 5. So our right side stays the same with a half. So now we can actually put this in our calculator exactly the way it is. No big deal. So let's see what happens. So let's back out of our graph and say math, arrow up. We want what's highlighted, numeric solver right here. Okay, clear out what we have, and let's set up well, there's 2 ways to enter this. We could enter it as a fraction as we see it. We could put everything in parentheses and just use the division. I'm going to say alpha y equals, so that gives me my fractional setup. Now I'm just going to enter what I see. X plus 5, arrow down, and that is 5x. Now I'm going to arrow down to where I put my second part, my other expression, my half. Okay, so I'm going to clear that. Now I'm not going to go to the trouble of entering the fraction. You can just say 1 divided by 2. Same thing. They're equivalent. So now I need to push OK. Remember, we need to push it twice, but I'm pushing graph twice. 1, 2, and there's my value. It is 3 1/3, so that is option B. Okay, let's go to number 13. Number 13, the length of a rectangle is 3 inches, 3 inches longer than twice the width. Okay, but just a minute. We are going to call width X for calculator purposes. Okay, there we go. If the area is 25 square inches, what is the length of the rectangle? Okay, notice I'm setting all this up for us. And that will be our grand answer, okay? The area equals, well, the area, and notice everything's in inches, and that's probably something good that we need to check before when you're taking the test. Double check. So everything's in the same measurement, so we're good. Okay, so we need base times height or length times width. So this, oops, remember we're doing x. This is what we need to pop into our calculator, okay? All right, so we need math. We're using solver, by the way. Math, arrow up, sees what we want, so press enter. Okay, so let's clear this out. And I have 25 first. Okay, I always do the left, now the right, clear it all out. And that is x parentheses 3 plus 2x. Close our parentheses. Okay, now, see where it says okay? Note that it says okay, push enter. Now it says solve. We have not solved. This is not solved. So push graph again. There you go. But that is simply the value of x. Always double look and think about it, okay? And that's why I set us up. So what is our x? All right, so I'm going to write this here. 8, 6. I'm not going to write everything, and then I want a couple things I want to point out to you, okay? So we know that A is not it. And 2 times 2 is 4, so B is probably not it. And 2 times 2 is 4. 4 plus 3 is 7. I don't even think C's it. I think D is it. Well, how do we find out? Let's go second mode to back out. And let's put in 3 plus 2 and in parentheses 2.868642, close. Double check my numbers. All right, push enter. Now, see how my rounding would be different on my calculator? The difference is they rounded early when they came up with this answer, okay? All right. Okay, that's a rounding issue. But D is our best option. Now, I want to go back to the solver, math up. Okay, and a little word on wording. I'm going to go here. Now, here, see how I got my answer? Okay. If you're getting weird values here, like negatives that don't make sense, things like that, that means that you need to update your calculator. And if you've noticed, my emulator here, the buttons, my history buttons, may all see how I'm highlighting them here. They may look different than before. That's because my emulator needed to be updated. I had to update it and then I had to reset it. So your calculator, your handheld, will need the same attention, especially before you go to take a test. Okay? Please, please, please go to TI, download the update on your computer, use the code that was given, and do the proper update before you proceed. I know it's annoying, but at least they update for us, okay? All right, now let's go to number 14 right here. And talking about my buttons being really large, I'm going to clear all this out for you, okay? All right, let's look at what we're doing here for number 14. A triangle has the same area as a square with a side of 10. Okay, so we have area of a triangle equals I'm thinking and writing before I should. Area of a triangle. Okay, now the base of the triangle is 6 units longer than the height. So that would be 6 plus, and I'm going to call the height x. Okay, so let's set this up first, okay? So the area of a square, well, a square, all the sides are the same, so that's going to be 10 squared. Of course, that's 100, but we're not doing that yet. Okay. Now, a triangle is base times height. Okay. Well, height, we're calling height x, and then times, well, I'm just going to use parentheses here. 6 plus the height. Okay. So that sets up base times height. But what else? You got to divide the whole thing by 2. Okay. How many units is the height? And that's another thing. If I would have kept reading, and you probably kept reading while I was yakking, and I appreciate that. Okay. You would have said, well, how many units is the height? Well, obviously the heights are unknown. Okay. That's another thing. So you can, if you don't know how to set things up, sometimes that'll clue you in. Okay. Okay, of the triangle to the nearest hundredth. Okay, so now we have something for the solver. Now I want to show you a little trick. I have been going second mode on the solver. Guys, you can just go, see how I arrowed up? You can just keep arrowing up. Okay, so clear that out, and we have 10 squared. Okay, now I want to clear out the next one and set up a fraction as I have it. Okay, I need number 1. Now, what do I have in the numerator? That is x parentheses, and I have 6 plus x. Close my parentheses, arrow down, pop in my 2. Double check that I plugged in the right things. All right, now let's give it a try and see what happens. So it wants to know if I'm okay. Yes, I'm okay. Now remember, this, see how it's just giving us the last answer? And how I know that is 2 things. I have the word solve here, meaning you're not done yet. And my third row is missing. So push graph again. Now everything is copacetic, and that is the value of x, our height. And it rounds very nicely. So that'd be option A. Okay, this is the last question in this particular video. I wanted to thank you guys again. I know I do it at the end of every video, but you guys are awesome. Liking, sharing us, and subscribing. Happy testing, guys.